You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Chase Sr. Coming up on today's show, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why I think the Niners are going to be victorious in what I think is the best division in football, the gauntlet that is the NFC West. First, some big dates for the 49ers 2021 outlook. They report the training camp as a team on Wednesday. That's July 28th. Preseason gets underway against the Kansas City Chiefs on August 14th. That's going to be the preseason opener. Regular season opener, Niners go to Detroit. They're touchdown favorites. I think they're going to be victorious in that game on September 12th. And overall, in this 17-game, 18-week schedule, 5 primetime games in this new 17-game slate. Let's break down this schedule real quick, and we'll run through this very quickly before I give you 10 reasons why I think the Niners are going to win this division. Week 1 on the road in Detroit. Week 2, once again on the road in Philadelphia against the Eagles. Niners make their home debut in front of what is going to be a raucous crowd against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football in Week 3. Week 4, huge early divisional game against the Seattle Seahawks. Then you go on the road after that to take on the much-improved Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Week 6, an early bye for the Niners. I don't really like it considering the injury misfortune that they've had over the last couple of years. Week 7, another primetime game against Carson Wentz and the Colts on Sunday Night Football. Week 8, on the road at Soldier Field against the Bears. Could it be Trey Lance against Justin Fields? I'm kind of rooting for that to happen, to be honest with you. Week 9, the second of 2 games against the Cardinals. Week 10, Niners take on the Rams at home on Monday Night Football. Week 11, they go across the country to the swamp that is Jacksonville. We'll see Trevor Lawrence for the first time, hopefully. Week 12, they come back home to Santa Clara to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Week 13, on the road in Seattle against the 12th man. That's a Sunday Night Football game. Week 14, really not an easy game against Joe Burrow and the much-improved Cincinnati Bengals. And then we round out this schedule with these final 4 games. Week 15 against the Falcons at home. On a short week, you go on the road to Nashville to take on the Titans, which is not going to be easy considering how physical they are on short rest. Week 17 against the Texans, and then the Niners round out the season Week 18 against the Los Angeles Rams. That could be a game that decides the NFC West. Speaking of the NFC West, the win total set out there by odds makers. It's the Niners and the Rams atop this list at 10.5 wins. Over, under, what do you think? Seahawks right behind them at 9.5, and then the Arizona Cardinals currently, according to the sports books, they're over-under for wins at 8. This is going to be an incredible and awesome division that I think could come down to the final week of the regular season. I think the Niners are pegged for 11 games. What do you think, though? Over-under wins, I should say. Over-under 10.5 wins for the Niners in 2021. Type O for over, type U for under. Get those votes in the comment section. Niners report the training camp on Wednesday, as I mentioned, and with training camp on the horizon, that only means we're going to increase our coverage here on the 49ers Report, bringing you the latest 49ers news and rumors. We go live every single Thursday. We bring you breaking news like we did yesterday with the Fred Warner contract extension, and we're trying to get to 40,000 subscribers by the time the Niners kick off Week 1 in Detroit. So hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv. Let's get to my 10 reasons why I think the Niners are going to win this division. Reason number 1, Kyle Shanahan has swept Sean McVay the last 2 seasons, and he's been the underdog in 3 of those 4 matchups. I think this division could come down to the Niners and the Rams. There's a Week 18 game between 2 of these 2 squads. Maybe it comes down to that, and I give the edge to Kyle Shanahan, although both of them are good friends and 2 of the best young minds in the National Football League at the head coaching spot. Reason number 2, among the offensive lines in the NFC West, who has a better offensive line in this division than the Niners? Nobody. Trent Williams might be the best left tackle in football. Laken Tomlinson, a really good left guard. Alex Mack is going to be awesome at center. I think Aaron Banks starts at right guard. Mike McGlinchey has to improve. But as you look across the landscape in the NFC West at those offensive lines, I don't think any team has a better O-line than your Niners. Offensively, as we stick on this side of the football, there's an elite trio in addition to what's going on in the trenches. George Kittle, Brandon Aiyuk, Deebo Samuel. That is an elite threesome in terms of weapons. And whether it's Jimmy G or Trey Lance playing at the quarterback spot, I think they're going to be successful because they have the offensive line fortified and intact. There are a lot of weapons. You have the mastermind that is Kyle Shanahan calling all of the plays. I like Mike McDaniel as the offensive coordinator. So whether it's Jimmy G or Lance, because of all of the reasons that I mentioned, this Niners offense could truly be elite. Also, there's this, reason number 5. Kyle Shanahan has to reverse his below 500 record. He's so much of a better coach than being 29-35 since he took over as the Niners head coach. You win 11-12 games this year, he's able to reverse that misfortune. I'm big on Warren Sharp. I think he does some fascinating things in terms of deep diving in terms of analytics. I read his preview on the Niners. His preview just came out over the last couple of weeks, and I think these are important nuggets that I want to convey to the audience. Here's what Warren Sharp had to say in that preview on the Niners, and why I think they can win this NFC West. Niners are expected to face the single easiest schedule in the NFL based on current win totals. That's big coming off that 6-10 season. Warren Sharp also said this: San Francisco was battered with tons of bad luck last season, including leading the NFL in adjusted games lost due to injury. Not only did they lose starting quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo for 10 games, but they also lost star tight end George Kittle for 8 games, wide receiver Deebo Samuel for 8 games as well, and running back Raheem Mostert for half of the season. On defense, the injuries were just as devastating as they lost both Nick Bosa and Dee Ford for all but 3 games, and Richard Sherman for 11 games. I got to catch my breath after going through all of those injuries, because all of the guys that we just talked about, key players on that defense last year. And I'm thinking, this is my reason number 6, the injury bad luck has to turn around, because injuries have haunted this franchise, not just over the last couple of seasons. This predates Kyle Shanahan. This goes back to the Harbaugh days. I'm thinking that in 2021, some positivity and the injuries and all of the misfortune there finally turns around. And I hope, I pray that this team is going to be healthy. Let's shift over to the defensive end of the football. Reason number 7, this defense is littered with studs. I love the defensive front. They're going to be able to generate some great pressure on the quarterback, and I don't think opposing quarterbacks are going to have that much time to throw. Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead, DJ Jones, hopefully Dee Ford is healthy. That's just the first level. At the second level, Azeez Al-Shaair, All-Pro Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, and on the back end, love what Jason Verrett did last year. Has to stay healthy. K'Wan Williams, also a really good player. I think Jaquiski Tartt and Jimmy Ward are an underrated safety combo. So this Niners defense is really, really good. Who do you think is the best player on the Niners defense among some of the studs that I just mentioned? Let me know in the comment section down below as we get to reason number 8. I kind of mentioned it and previewed it, but this is really important. In the pass-happy league that is the NFL right now, where offenses are so unpredictable in the passing game with all of the motioning, all of these zone schemes, and all of the creativity that we're seeing from offensive coordinators as well as head coaches, and the rule changes that are made that make it almost impossible for defensive backs to cover anybody, all 3 levels have to be secure. You have to be able to stop the passing attack. But because defenses are expecting the pass on most likely 2.5 to 3 of the 4 downs, teams are able to just really shred you up in the running game. Good news for the Niners, they have a bulky interior defensive front, but also those linebackers can roam sideline to sideline. Last year in 2020, the Niners, as we know, did go 6-10. But if you look back at some of those games, there were close losses. There were the plethora of injuries that we already talked about. And I think the Niners last year were so much better than a 6-10 team. And given some of the moves that they made in free agency, as well as the NFL draft, I think this team is even better than that team last year, and they're going into training camp a lot healthier. Reason number 10, as we round out this segment, the recipe for success in business as well as in sports. When you have talented people within your organization or on your team, you want to do everything you can do to keep those people happy and keep those people in-house. You brought back Trent Williams. You brought back Kyle Juszczyk. You brought in a familiar face for Kyle Shanahan in Alex Mack. You traded up and you were aggressive to take Trey Lance. You brought back some of the key members of that secondary. This defensive front has the ability to be one of the more elite defensive fronts, and I think Nick Bosa is going to earn himself a contract extension. You sign Fred Warner so that he's tied to this organization over the next 5 years. Keep your own, and with that, you build your own core that I think will allow this organization to compete for Super Bowls, not just this year, but also for years to come. And that's a big reason why I think the Niners are going to be victorious in the NFC West. So do you think the Niners are going to win this gauntlet of a division? Are you with me? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Get those votes in the comment section.